Okay.
All right. So Zoom started. Scooby-Doo is going over to Facebook to allow Facebook to stream my beautiful face. All right. Scooby-Doo is alive. We got it. It's live stream. Hi, my name is Scooby-Doo. Who doesn't know me? I'm so famous. Right?
Well, it's been a long time, Ying. I know it's been exactly a year since we did this webinar together. We did this kind of in a more scary atmosphere. I know you had your office whole decorated and joined as the Wicked Witch, but looks like you're Scooby-Doo this year. Is that right?
Yes, Scooby-Doo at heart. Right?
Well, we have scary content though. We have scary content though this year and compared to last year. We're going to talk about audit horror stories. So, yeah, I know that's getting quite popular. Nobody likes this topic. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, share with you real life horror stories. But before we get into it, there are a couple of things that we want to get into and share. So, Ying, do you mind sharing a little bit about IES that's coming up?
Right, and the Scooby-Doo endorsed it, and this is IES event called the Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit. It's a one-day event on November 19th. See, November 19th, and from 8:30 to 5, you can come in at any time. However, it is an event where to give you the very fundamental basic business knowledge. If you have never gone to do business yourself and you're not growing up in the business family and you're new to the country, whatever situation bring you here and you don't really, you want to learn more about business and you want to be a business person, here we go. And IES is that for you. So register, the ticket is $70. And if you love to come, but you couldn't afford it, you let Scooby-Doo know and I'll get you something, discount to get you in, but don't let dollars preventing you from coming in.
Absolutely. Has inspirational award stories, real life award stories, and also get to watch someone walk away with $5,000 check. Is always fun.
Yes.
And so don't miss out. It's an annual national event. So please join us. And we have the no responsibility disclaimer by Scooby-Doo this year.
All right. So no responsibility. We always know internet is for fun. That's why Scooby-Doo is here. And, knowledge is something that you know and go research and make it yours. But whatever on internet, just don't take it too seriously. Taking it to court, that's not good. And the knowledge we share here is free, so we don't take responsibilities for how you implement it. If you really like us, really like Scooby-Doo, and you would come to Community CPA to have us help you.
So let's get right into the meat and potatoes, why people are here watching us. Why are audits becoming so common and so popular, Scooby-Doo?
Isn't that true, right? And so this is like, there's a saying goes, every time there is a Halloween, there are more candies. Am I right? So same
That's
thing,
true.
every time there's a recession, there is more increased compliance audit cases. That is really exactly the same like Halloween candies. It's just gonna be there. And because there's a Halloween. So we have a recession. We're in the recession, folks. If the media doesn't really tell that to you, it's because Scooby-Doo couldn't scream loud enough to make it known. We are in recession. Some people take advantage of it. Some people are fall into it. And you want to be safeguarding your books and record and know that during the recession time, there will be more audit. And, you know, there are compliance, there are audit and compliance are the same thing, right? Because audit, people may be more familiar with the term, but compliant is just that their focus is not on the dollars you owe, is on whether you are doing it right or wrong. But the result going to come into just as dollars. So, you know, really the angles is different, but it's the same result. And the popular one right now, so far we see, it is ERC compliance audit, folks, by IRS. IRS is acting really quickly. They already hired 87,000 auditors. They're training them to audit your ERC. And if you got ERC refund money and to receive a compliance audit notice, that's not a surprise. You know that is coming. So that's why whatever you do and making sure that you're doing it right, folks, that's really important. If you do it right from the number one thing from the beginning, then you will form a habit of doing it right because you're doing it right from beginning. And then because you're doing it step by step, is all very accurately, then you really are not have anything to worry. You just know that that's the way the government is going to come around. The ghost, you know, not all the ghosts are bad ones. Some ghosts are good ones, right? So payroll compliance is another one. It has been a really important one recent years because all of these pandemic money related to payroll. Remember PPP, right? Is related to payroll. So payroll compliance is becoming more and more important. And of course, there's another one called Bank Secrecy Act compliance. You may not know what that is. That is because you did not deposit $10,000 cash in your bank account every other month. Trust me, if you do that, you'll get noticed because IRS knows who is depositing cash, secret cash. They don't know where that come from. And then you'll be compliance audited for money laundering. Sales tax audit, you know what that is, right? Your state auditor comes to do that. Income tax audit, your IRS doing it. SBA audit is coming. I say it's coming is because they have not started. And like your EIDL loan and your RRF, all of these money, the government loan, they can do compliance audit to make sure that you actually borrow the loan properly. You did not cheat on your financial statement, or you did not inflate your financial statement, your value, like what some big shot do in their tax returns. So, you know, those are things they will come to audit you. Ooh, scary. It's a Halloween time.
You know, since you mentioned the ERC, there are a lot of different small, you know, businesses that came out during the pandemic to help, you know, people with ERC and those type of services. And you know, you don't even know how long they're gonna last. And they just show up one day, help you, and they're gonna disappear. And you have no proper representation of how you came up with that number. And so make sure you always work with a reputable firm. Our firm is always willing to help. So if you're interested, always let us know. Go with a firm that has a good reputation, has been around for a long time, and you know will always be around, okay? So now, how in the world do you know you're getting an audit, Yi?
Because it's spooky. The government does not ghost you, like sending you a scary email or making a call to your cell phone goes Halloween, happy Halloween. They don't do stuff like that. And they don't show up with handcuffs and without prior notice. So if they're really going to handcuff you, you actually already know that. So no surprises like that. And we say that government don't ghost you. They really do come out step by step. If you are greeted by a ghost, don't panic. Remember what I just said? There are good ghosts out there too. They're not all bad ones, right? And normally you will get a letter. If you get audited, you will receive a letter. The letter says something like, you know, we are informing you and you need to come to this place and have an interview where we're reviewing your tax return, or we're reviewing you this item, or they say that we got, we got to review your payroll and we had a whistleblower and telling us that you're doing the wrong thing. So we want to take a look at what you're doing. So these are proper ways you're getting to know these, because the letter will explain that to you. Or when you review your car license, you go review your car license, the lady at the front desk goes, no, you cannot get that reviewed because you have tax dues. You'll be like, what? Tax dues? I didn't even know I got tax dues. Then maybe you got a letter, the IRS or the state says that they want to audit you, and you just ignore them. And then they just gonna say, okay, fine, you ignore me. I'm just gonna charge you $2 million tax due, and then file it under your name. Next time you go to renew your car license, food license, liquor license, forget it. You're not gonna get it renewed. So the one of the big thing for state to grab hold of you, and you can't really ghost them. And you really just need to pay if you do own, otherwise you can't do your business anymore. Contractor license revoked, that's another thing. If you owe money, they will do the contractor license revoked, and you literally cannot do work anymore outside. Or sometimes the worst ghost you would get, it is your bank balance. Suddenly you'll be like, I thought I have a lot of money in my bank. So what happened to it? It's all gone. Oh yes, because IRS levied your account and took all the money from you. And that is you not dealing with the ghost really well, and not just eating candies, forgot about thank ghost for that. And you need to really work on your taxes, right? And that's, I say that is what, how you get audited.
Ying, a lot of people tune in because they love your stories. And I know you have a ton of them, especially related to our horror, audit case stories. So we have a couple of horror stories, folks, to share. And the first one is the IRS tax audit. So I'll have Ying kind of give you an example, a story of a horror story related to it with some of these type of situations that happen. And these are the worst type, right, Ying?
Yes. And those are, we call them horror stories because it's so out of blue, right? It's so unexpected. And, taxpayer gets scared. And then at this time, and is the IRS who are coming around and, wanting to do certain things and ghosted the taxpayer. But the other situation also happens as well. Like IRS come around to audit something really simple. Then they find themselves in the big hole, and there is a lot of things going on, and they felt like they are being ghosted by our taxpayers, right? It can't happen both ways. But this time I want to tell you a real story, because this is real. It really happened. So, we can't have anybody to blame to, but it is just what it is. So we have a client, and we had this client and who got audited, and the audit was for 3 years, and for 3 years for this grocery store. And then come around, and then the IRS realized that, this taxpayer didn't really do very good bookkeeping. They don't even have professional firm helping them. They're doing their own little bookkeepings, and all the receipts is everywhere. When the IRS went to their store, they felt like they were disorganized. So the IRS person goes, instead of auditing 1 year, let's open up for 3 years. So there you go. It was for 2014. Then it's got expanded all the way to 2012 and 2013 and 2012. So there you go. 3 years is all there. While they're auditing the 3 years, so you see, expanded audit, that's a nightmare, because you got the time expended. They could audit just 1 year, but they want 3 years, right? And then when they are in the file, they realize that, boy, it's not just a little grocery store. They also have other stores, laundry stores, and the rental property. There are a bunch of entities out there these people are working on. So there you go. They expanded from the little grocery store to the laundry store, from laundry store to the real estate business. So all the entities that are related to the client got opened up. And you imagine each one of them is 3 years, man. And then not even just that, then the IRS also goes, oh wow, I just don't think they had ever is in their, in their grocery store. Sure, most of the groceries don't pay sales tax, but I don't see any was ever submitted. So they submitted this file to the state and for the sales tax folks to look at it. So these are the stories of expanded audit. And now they can expand by timeline, they can expand it by entity, they can also expand it by different government. And that is a whole motherhood of audit. And I call that you're just in the audit season if you get in there. But again, once it's open, it has to close. So you don't have a way to say that I just sleep over tonight, so Halloween is over, then I'm good. No, it's never going to be over. So you have to deal with it when it's open. So Dan, that's one of the ghost story on the expansion. Then should I also talk about other ones that we knew we have experienced?
Yes, I mean, for the sake of time, maybe we can pick on one more, because I know we have other kinds of horror stories related to other audit kinds. So do you have one you wanted to? What about the
Sure.
request of receipt?
Sure, that receipt. Obviously, when you get audited by the IRS in this case, and you want to prove your deduction is reasonable, right? So we all know that we're going to prove the deduction reasonable. And you come up with all these receipts and you give to IRS. And then itself, and it didn't really do what IRS want to see, because IRS want to see where, the receipt is made to you, to your business, and the receipt is within the timeline, and the receipt business, right? So one of the horror stories, one of our client, and it came to us, our audit client, he got audited and he didn't know why the IRS was charging him so much. So he came to us and he goes, I thought the audit went okay, but I don't know why I have to pay so much taxes. Can you take a look? So I was looking at his audit assessment and I said, looks like none of your business expense was in the deduction. Do you know why? He goes, no, I don't, because I already give my receipt. I have a very nice clean receipt. Ying, I save everything. I gave everything to the auditor. And what could be the reason that the auditor don't take it? So I look at the receipt. I said, do you have it? Oh, yes, here you go, Ying, receipt. So I look at the receipt. I'm like, who is this Khan guy? Because there's a name.
Name didn't match.
There's a name called Khan. I know my client's name is Tony, and I don't know who's Khan. And he goes, oh, that was my Vietnamese name, and I already become a citizen, so I changed my name. I'm Tony. I'm not Khan. But the store still use, the vendor still use my old name. I said, I see. So did you tell the auditor that this is your name? Because obviously they denied your receipt because they think it's somebody else. They think you are so bad. You went to somebody else, got all the receipt, and pretend to be yours. I'm so glad that you were not in jail, locked up. They could charge you criminally for using other people's receipt, right? So, horror story, but he didn't go to jail.
These audit cases can be kind of crazy sometimes. And I know DOL audit is also kind of crazy. Do you want to give us some examples of what DOL can be looking for?
Yes. DOL audit, they're auditing your, normally is the wages and the wages division, and auditing you for fairness of paying overtime. Okay, so the horror story would be that if you are paying someone a salary, you think you're not paying them wages, you're paying them salary. Of course, salaried employee in general, they are what DOL called exempted employee. So overtime doesn't pay overtime rate. Overtime is not paid because you are exempted salary employee. But if you're a restaurant cook, you're a chef, you're cooking back in the kitchen, you are not exempted employee, but you made a mistake. And even though you pay this chef so well, and with salary, even if you calculate overtime, he would have paid already $20 an hour. But because you did not pay him on the hour and the overtime, the DOL would come in, use the $5,000 a month salary divided by regular hours. Then they want you to make up the 0.5 you miss. So a lot of our business owners literally go out of business. It's a horror story because they go out of business, and because of so much they have to pay by just misunderstood or did not use the payment, did not classify the wages and the salaries properly. And worse, there is more ghost in here. DOL impose something called liquidated damage. Okay, don't ask me what that word means in English because English is my second language. Scooby-Doo only speak wong, not English. So the Scooby-Doo don't understand that. But that liquidated damage is double. Let's say you owe this person overtime for $5. Liquidated damage is another $5. So they want you to pay $10 to this person because of their DOL audit. Really spooky, folks. You don't want to get involved with this, but let me tell you, the way to avoid this is to really understand how that happened. Normally, the common trigger is because you have an employee or someone served as whistleblower to the DOL, and they report you, you get audited. And if you're failing to maintain the overtime hours record, guess what? Scooby-Doo gonna do whatever hours he wanted, and you have no proof. So your employee gonna come out say, I worked 80 hours overtime in 1 week. Your DOL folks are not on your side, my dear. DOL is Department of Labor. They're on the employee side. And even if the employees don't even have status, did you hear me? Even if they're not citizen, even if you are citizen, they're not citizen. And it doesn't matter because their job is not about immigration. Their job is about you pay it right. So make sure, don't live in Halloween all the time, right? Once a year is good, but this one, you don't want to be in it at all. Scooby-Doo want you to come out of there. Come out of the
I remember there are also cases where there are horrible employees. They have a horrible track record. They do this to business owners that are working so hard, and they come in because they know that they can do this. They can look for these type of things and then just report you. So it's so important, folks, to really understand and know, making sure that you're doing the right thing, but also making sure you do the due diligence to figure out where that employee is coming from, and not hiring people that are just there to sabotage you. So a lot of horror stories related to this one for sure. But
we can't control the ghost. We can't control the employees who are here set to destroy you. So, but what we can control as a business owner, as the employer, is to make sure we do the right thing, right? So to not live in the Halloween, the only way is to not be one of, not be one of those who doesn't know what's going on and do it wrong. So always check that with community CPA, check with people you trust, see whether what you're doing is correct. There's always a right way to do it, and also not overpaying taxes, folks. There is a right path to go to do it better and pay less.
Absolutely. And, it would be such a shame if we don't talk about the sales and use tax audit. Oh my goodness, because this one, if you're assessed and it's not going away, right, Ying?
Yeah, that's why that skeleton is holding the tombstone.
Yeah.
The sales tax and use tax, they're not a regular tax, folks. They're called a trust fund. Do you know what trust fund means? Trust fund means they are trusted in you to have you hold down to other people's money, and you should be paying it to the government. You should have no doing other than collecting and paying it to the government It's not yours. It's not yours. So trust funds goes to your tombstone. If you have sales tax you didn't pay, you die, your estate, whatever you left over, it is going to pay sales tax dues. So that's why we have the skeleton hugging tombstone to impress you about the importance of sales tax and the use tax audit.
Do you have a horror story you can share with the audience today?
Oh, yes. I have this gentleman, he already passed away, okay? And 6 months before he passed away, he actually came to my firm and he operated a nail shop and in our area. And do you know that he operated for 10 years already, but did not know that he should be collecting sales tax. So he never ever collected anything, but suddenly got audited. The state goes, oh, by the way, sales tax don't have a limitation. They can go for 10 years. So this the sales tax folks goes, oh my God, you owe 350,000 some sales tax because you didn't pay for 10 some years and never paid sales tax. Here is the money you owe. He, of course, now we knew he died 6 months later, right? So he come to me and he was really worried. He wants to know what's gonna happen to the sales tax and what's gonna happen to his estate. And so now I told him, sales tax is trust fund, even though you didn't collect it, but it's really, you still owe, even though you didn't collect and you didn't budget for your sales tax, but you still owe. So he actually worked with the sales tax, sales tax auditors. Then later on, I appealed it for him. And after he passed away, I appealed his case, didn't work. So it's folded into his estate. The lucky thing is he doesn't have much of an estate. So it didn't get paid eventually. But again, see how serious that is? And his wife has to file innocent spouse because she doesn't even speak English. She doesn't even know how to spell sales tax, and never mind about paying for it. So we have to go through the trouble to do innocent spouse to get her out of that collection so he doesn't lose all of her money that he got out of this marriage, right? So horror, truly horror story. So now, here on the slides, you can see all these triggers. So don't do stuff like that, right? Then why is people doing those stuff to trigger that sales tax audit?
I think it's a lack of discipline, lack of knowledge, and then also feeling that is maybe the only way to save taxes and, trying to be under the radar. But, you can't live like that, folks. And like Ying said earlier, there are right ways to do it and still save taxes. I mean, look at Donald Trump, and he definitely understands the system, and he is able to, make sure that he's not under compliance, and he's always clear because he has CPAs after CPAs and firms after firms taking care of him, right, Ying?
I hope. Scooby-Doo is not sure about that one.
I love this next image.
Time. We can see whatever we want. I think
that's right. Folks, this is for entertainment only. That's why we're looking this way, okay? You will never see us, in our office dressed this way. So speaking of a treat, this is an image that we absolutely thought was worth sharing. Government must audit. Like Halloween must have babies eating candies, right? So, I just want to make sure that you have a way. Now, knowing all these horror stories, you have a way to stay away from these ghosts, these spooky horror stories. So, Ying, can you share that with the audience today?
I know. So, always we see clients come to us, goes, Ying, I let you do whatever you want to do and help us with our audit, with our accounting, but just promise that make me 100% stay away from the audit. So if I promise you that, then I'm giving you an empty promise, because audit it is not discriminatory, and it is not coming in for certain people, certain way. It is really about making sure that people are doing the right thing, right? But if in your heart, you are not sure, or you're doing it wrong, and it is so important, folks, to stop doing that and seek for help and figure out what you can do next. Halloweens, right? Those kind of scares, if it is for fun, it is fun. But if it is for real, that really can cost a lot of your energy. There are ways to minimize your chances to be audited. In fact, at Community CPA, we have a very good ways, not spooky ways, and really normal ways to utilize the system. Here you say, stay legally compliant with governmental procedures and the requirement, and don't take a defense on government procedures and requirements. And always try to embrace it. I know I talk like, you're gonna say, come on, Ying, and don't tell me that. And I mean, it sounds very stereotype, but I want to say that if you can just look beyond what they're requiring, understand what government is doing, then suddenly your compliant would be super good. Because if you don't understand, you can take a defensive measure and just don't want to do it. I'm lucky, I'm not going to be audited, I'm just going to do this. And that would not be a good approach, right? And there is one client we have, she said that she worked 30 years very hard. One audit took all of the money she made ever in 30 years. One audit. So that's how scary that is. And understand the computerized systematic checkpoints. Do you know how significant that is? Man, if Scooby-Doo has any trick to give you, that's his trick. Because you need to understand how government computer works. And we understand it, not because I went to IRS or I went to Social Security Administration to look at how they do their IT connections, interfaces. No, it's because we see examples. We have one client, and the one thing I will tell you, and we had one client and was applying for child tax credit. And that child tax credit did not go through. And normally it would go through and didn't. And then we learned that, because the IRS system got connected with Social Security Administration, they knew when the taxpayer getting their visa to work in US. They knew that now, and we didn't even know. We didn't really go to ask. So now we know that, okay, that's a check. So we ask, right? So because even if we don't ask, we submitted it, you're going to be rejected by SSA anyway. So those are the things we learn and we tell you. And we tell you through our webinars, and we don't hold knowledge because we really believe that those knowledge are for our people. That's why our name is Community CPA. It's not some dude and Scooby-Doo's name on it. And so it's all for Scooby-Doo, right? It's for all of us. And you have an accurate bookkeeping, folks. Having an accurate keeping your personal hygiene. It's just really important for business. Okay, it's same thing. It's a personal hygiene. Okay, and hire professional to assist and apply money saving techniques for your industry. Ha, Scooby-Doo says Community CPA is so good at that. I didn't say it. Scooby-Doo said it, and Community CPA is really good at it. Yeah. Best way to stay away from the ghost.
I know our folks our folks love our Halloween sessions. It's a hoot, and we try to bring value to you and laughter while we talk about these stories. But in all seriousness, it is something that is very important for your well-being and for you to be able to sleep well at night, not be spooked out by all these things that could go wrong. Okay. Now, join us at the haunted Halloween party. We have this Halloween party every day. Every day we do. these webinars are where we have the party, if you couldn't already tell. So let me share with you where to find our information and where to find our firm. So this is our firm's website, like our name, communitycpa.com. You'll be able to find all the webinars upcoming here and find ways to contact us. It's as easy as sending us a quick message and you'll be surprised. We'll call you. We'll reach out to you saying that, hey, you dropped us a message. How can we help? It's as easy as that. Find us on YouTube. You go to www.youtube.com/community CPA or just type community CPA and you'll be able to find this icon right here that says community CPA and find all of our videos. We have tons of videos. And here you can type anything you'd like to know. Just make sure that you're sensitive to the timing in case some of those are outdated information. So you can just browse and search whatever you like about, what you like to know, what you like to learn. So there's this ERC, how to do it yourself, 4 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 year ago. So you don't want to watch that one, but there are a couple of recent ones that you'll want to watch, okay? So, hey, there's one here about audit. So just make sure you know how to find us, you know how to reach us. We are here for you. Now, going back to the treat. We have a tax planning giveaway treat, folks. This tax planning giveaway treat is just going on right now, once a year. And we've never done it before. It's literally thousands of dollars of free tax planning. 2 lucky winners. Number 8 and number 18 entries that will come through our desk will win. So we are actually in the mix of creating a very short YouTube introduction about how to get that information to us. It could be like your tax return from last year and your year-to-date financial statement and that kind of information so that we know you are interested, you need tax planning, and we are here to help. Contact me. Contact my email. You can call or text and find out more information, and we are here to give that away. And for those of you that don't win it, I guarantee you it'll be worth your money. You will absolutely learn the power of tax planning, okay? There are firms that can only, Scooby-Doo is laughing. There are firms that can only do tax preparation, but the real dollar, the real savings is actually coming from proper planning. And that's what we're good at. Contact us, reach out to us, submit your application, and make sure you win it, okay? Scooby-Doo, is there anything else you'd like to mention, share with our folks as they've invested their very important Saturday with us and join us today? So anything you'd like to share before we close?
Just look at our website to see. I don't sound like Scooby-Doo at all, but for today. And our website actually tells you what webinar is coming up next, and you can actually register that right there and then make sure you come in. And when you watch our webinar, if you like it, actually the biggest contribution you can give to Scooby-Doo and it is to give us a thumb up and subscribe to our channel and send our channel to your friend so they know us too. We're so important. We want to make you happy, and we want to make sure that you have a clean tax, business, finance with us and doing good business out there, right? And to get through recession, no big deal. Scooby said that is no big deal.
Yeah, you don't want to make any more trouble than what we're already in with this recession. Do things right, reach out to professionals to give you proper help, making sure that your business venture is as smooth as it can go. So folks, thank you again for tuning in to our webinar today. We will make sure to visit you again next year together and share with you maybe some good stories coming out of this very difficult time. But we'll see you all again soon. And thank you for tuning in. Take care.